We continue here on Game Time. The Cavaliers looked fantastic offensively in Game 4. They're looking to do the same in Game 5. Last year, no Draymond. This time, Draymond and KD. With more on the mindset and the play of the Cavaliers, here's our own Kristen Ledlow.
The Cavaliers have come back to Oracle Arena with confidence despite being down 3-1. Each member of the team that addressed the media implied that the team is prepared for this challenge. LeBron James said that what worked so well in Game 4 was that the Cavaliers acknowledged the keys to the game and then they stuck with that game plan. After a record-breaking offensive performance, he said defensively, we can't take away everything that they do, but we can make it tougher on them and live with the results. He went on to say that the Cavs didn't play well in Games 1 or 2, but they've watched film and seen what they need to do better, including limiting turnovers, defending the three-point line, and setting the tone physically. Here's more on that from the Cavaliers.
You know, I don't see anything funny or anything to smile about, so, hitting and being physical and just everything they did to us in the first 3 games, we got to do that. And last game in Game 4, I thought that's who we are. Got to be physical. If it's talking trash or, knocking guys on the floor, whatever you got to do, we got to do it. We got to be physical.
We just got to stay locked into those guys, making sure that we limit our turnovers and limit our mistakes. It seems like deja vu being back up here, but talking about game from 1 and 2, trying to limit our mistakes. But if we do that and we limit some of their easy baskets, then we put ourselves in a great position.
We're going to go over some things that we need to do better in Game 5. And then it's just go on and play. Like I said, I've put in the homework. I've got my mind ready for these games. I got my body prepared. And, like I said, if I leave everything on the floor, then I'm happy with the results.
All right, well, you take a look at teams down 3-1, and clearly, in case you've forgotten, last year we saw this happen. Now, this time it's down 3-0, trying to see that happen for the first time. They're going to need a lot of Kyrie Irving if that's going to be the case. And we talk about adjustments. Now, why it took until Game 4, I don't know, DZ, but we saw a different Kyrie with the dribble.
Well, what I do know is Kyrie's a student of the game. He went back and watched film. He saw games 1, 2, and 3. He was over dribbling. And we love the fact he's one of the best one-on-one players in our game and getting to the basket and finishing. But that last possession at the end of the game, he dribbled 16 times. So that gave Klay Thompson the rest of that defense to watch him. Game 4, less dribbling, more attacking, getting to the paint, making the one-hand floaters, knocking down threes, playing with force, going at Golden State. That's why I think we saw the real Kyrie Irving in Game 4.
Zeke, we're always talking about how impressed you are, which means a lot to us playing the position, about his handles. But the aggression, talk about the difference in what you saw and showing us the video in Game 4.
The biggest difference that I saw, Case, in 3D was that, if I was to use musical terms, he played on the 1. 3D, you talked about those 16 dribbles. Well, he brought everything down to 1. And if you see, as soon as he's open, he's taking the shot. He's going on the 1. The first move, he's going downhill. He's catching the basketball. It's not the bop, 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 okay? It's the straight 1 and to the cup. Now he's downhill. He's in the lane. He's using the floater. Soon as he's open, okay, he's got the step downhill again, up into his shot. Normally we would see the 1, 2, 3. Everything was on the 1. And, to his credit, right, he went back and he studied. He looked at how Golden State was defending him, how long they were waiting before they came to, get in his dribble path. What he did was said, okay, I got to get quicker shots. I got to get in open space. And when I get in that open space, I got to take the shot and make the shot. Because if I wait another half second, then there's an extra defender coming, or Klay Thompson has got a longer arm reach than I do, and he's in my, my shooting range. So, I love what they did, and I love the way these guys are studying, the way they talk about being prepared, the way they studying the game plan, and how they just going to let their game take over.
Yeah, it's crazy because you talk about how great Kyrie was. That LeBron guy's averaging a triple-double through 4 games in the finals. That's pretty good. He's also pretty good in elimination games. This is a guy who you want on your side, not only because he can make the big play, but while everybody talks about all of the pressure, it's a loosey-goosey LeBron heading into Game 5.
Yeah, when you look at
the playoffs are stressful and just the preparation, things of that nature, but, that's just from how I prepare. There's no added stress to going on playing basketball, and your coaching staff giving you a game plan, you just try to execute it. There's no added stress to that. And if you're able to get a win or get 2, get 3, get 4, you don't win. I've been I guess I've been a part of all of it. You know, I don't think you add more stress to, you know, what you need to do. If you're prepared, then you're prepared. There's no reason to add more to it.
All right, you know, you look at LeBron James and you think about all the different things that he has done. 3D, what's remarkable about him is he's off the floor for like 4 seconds, and all of a sudden the lead was cut down from 19 to 11. You go back in Game 3, a game that they lost by a point or two, and they were minus 12 when he's off the floor.
Yeah, that may be a frustrating point for the coaching staff, that how do you get your best player a little longer breather? Can the second unit come in and hold down the fort? But LeBron James really doesn't want to come out the ball game. He understands how important he is to the team, and plus how much he loves the game of basketball. So I think for me, Zig, is that how can the Cavs coaching staff manage their timeouts better, little things like that, and now you keep LeBron on the floor more. And also, when LeBron's off the floor, is it Kyrie or is it Kevin Love? How are you running your offense and who you running it through?
And 3D, you know, with LeBron James' experience is the best teacher. And the thing that I'm most impressed about with LeBron is his ability to learn. And he's learning from those bad experiences. And, you know, he's talked about how he's prepared. And I've said this before, you know, he didn't have teachers. Like who were his great teachers? I came in, my high school coach in the Hall of Fame, my college coach in the Hall of Fame, my pro coach in the Hall of Fame. You talk about Jordan, all his coaches in the Hall of Fame, Kareem's coaches in the Hall of Fame. When we look at LeBron James, this is a self-taught player. This is a self-educated learner. And through all of his failures in the NBA Finals, what he's been able to come back and do and sit there in a calm voice and say, well, I've learned from this, right? And I've studied this, and I know how to prepare myself. I got my body right. I got my mind right. But you and I, 3D, we had great coaches to tell us how to get it right, how to fix it all up. This is a guy since 17 has basically been self-taught. And it's just mind-blowing to see what he's been able to do under really pressure situations, and to be in this pressure situation again, for him to sit there and be that calm and say, I've studied, I've prepared, I'm ready to go. It didn't come from, you know, anybody but him. It's marvelous.
You know, here's the other thing, because we're in the era of social networking. Before Game 5, let's get this out there before we play Monday Morning Quarterback. His legacy isn't going to be defined by whatever happens tomorrow night. People are going to talk about the 3 and 5. I'm a Michael guy. Jordan wasn't taking Deladova and Shumpert anywhere further, no offense, than he did against this team. And if LeBron loses, it's going to be LeBron losing to a fantastic team. I think people put too much on him. He's been brilliant outside of one game against the Celtics. He's been brilliant literally every game of the postseason.
I think the true basketball minds are not going to put a chink in LeBron's arm, if you will, in his legacy if he doesn't win this championship. Everyone, to your point, you just broke it down so eloquently, that LeBron James has been a student of basketball from day one, and each year he's gotten better and better. The only thing we can possibly nitpick a little bit is maybe the free throw shooting. Early in that first quarter, I think he missed 4 or 5 free throws. If he makes those free throws, that lead could have been even bigger for the Cavs in that first quarter.
And if he does lose, and let's say Cleveland loses, they've arguably have lost to one of the greatest offensive teams, if not the greatest offensive team ever assembled. The only thing this team might be missing is a Kareem Abdul-Jabbar from an offensive standpoint. But when you look at the perimeters, those 3 perimeter players may be the best 3 perimeter offensive players on one team ever. OKC had the chance when they had Harden, Westbrook, and Durant. They had the chance to have the 3 best, you know, perimeter offensive players ever. We may be looking at, you know, as a threesome, right? These 3 guys in terms of Curry, Thompson, and Durant. I can't think of 3 better offensive players that have been on the perimeter on any basketball team.
Think about this at home when you watch Game 5. How many Hall of Famers in the future are on the floor?
It's a lot.
In game number 5.
We watch